If you want to stop playing boring solos that make the rest of the band look like this, well, there's a really simple trick that Sonny Rollins used all the time to keep your solos exciting and engaging. You see, what so many musicians, including myself, often forget is that when we're soloing, we want to be creating melodies. Very few people are impressed by a constant stream of fast licks, and if we're not improvising an interesting melody, well, listeners are going to switch off, start scrolling through Instagram, and they're probably never going to come to your gigs again. So what is this really easy trick? Well, check out the start of Sonny Rollins' solo on The Eternal Triangle and see if you can spot it. Let me know down in the comments if you spotted anything. I'll wait. It wasn't just a string of fast bop lines, right? He broke all of that up with some simpler melodic ideas. And this happens loads throughout the solo, and also loads throughout his improvising in general. I mean, check out the start of the second chorus of the same solo. Once again, he starts with a really cool blues line before going to some killer bop language, and then he goes to a more rhythmic little melody before coming back to the bebop language to end the phrase. And this is such a useful device for a whole bunch of reasons. One of the problems that jazz musicians of all abilities face is listener fatigue. There are so many notes flying around the place, it can all get a little bit much, even for the biggest jazz fans. And after a while, their ears start to switch off, and out comes the phone. And mixing these moments of more simple melodies into your playing helps give them something for their ears to latch onto, which will really help them stay engaged. And it also gives you as a musician something to build your solo off of, so the whole thing sounds like a complete entity, as opposed to the muddy pool of vague ideas that plague so many of us.
What is it? Jazz.
And those bop lines, which can easily start to sound a little bit stale after a while, will sound fresh and exciting because they can release all of the tension that you've built up in those melodic moments. And an added bonus is if you put these melodic lines at the start of sections or the start of a chorus, you're less likely to get lost in the form. Check out how different it sounds if I solo without using any of these melodic moments compared to if I do use some. Now, making up melodies is hard, but there are a few different things that you can do to make it a little bit easier. You could make it really rhythmic and build it off of chord tones, which is exactly what Cannonball Adderley does at the start of his solo on I Remember You. Or you could base it off the melody of whichever tune it is that you're playing, which is exactly what I did when we performed Swonderful on our weekly Live at the Bop Cave livestream. Was that plug too shameless? So by interspersing these little melodic hooks throughout your solos, everything you play is going to be more engaging for you, the musicians you're playing with, and the audience. But how can we use melodic development to take this even further? Well, for that, check out this video next.